All right, we are live, everybody. Welcome to the Patrick Carr Show. You already know it's Thursday right now, just one day until we get to the eve of the weekend. We appreciate you spending some of your afternoon here with us. If you're tuning in live, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon right now. If you're catching us over on YouTube, we hope you enjoy this show because I have to admit, this one's going to be fun. There's a lot of fun topics on this one, Anthony. We got some really good treats for you today. If you were looking for a boring show that's just going to talk about the news or what's going on wrong in the world, I'm going to tell you today is not that show. Today is all about unity, about fun, about just some great stories that are happening right now inside of entertainment, inside of culture, and really excited to bring all of these to you all. I want to start with the first one here, which I found, and I was like blown away by this one, Anthony, as you know. I'm calling this woman the 33-point woman now, okay? Some of you have heard of her. Her name is Morgan Riddle, and if you're a guy watching this, I mean, let's be honest, she's a bombshell. She is the self-described world's best ex-girlfriend. She spent 6 years dating tennis star Taylor Fritz. She went viral at Wimbledon. She landed on the New York Times as the most famous woman in men's tennis. But she just told Elle that she is done dating athletes for good and has built herself a roadmap to the next guy, man. Her words are, quote, I made a 33-point non-negotiables list, and it's the basic things like political alignment, shared life goals, intellectual intimacy, no sports betting or gambling, only makes my life happier, end quote. And the kicker, quote, I'll never date an athlete again, end quote. So I want everyone to realize, okay, this woman said no more athletes, and now she's put together a 33-point non-negotiable list for that next guy. Can you imagine being that guy? You're thinking, okay, great. This girl, man, she's hot. But you don't know much about her. But you're like, man, she's hot. Man, I can't wait. I mean, she's obviously a supermodel. And you get out there and you're on that date and she's like, all right, well, let's make sure we're politically aligned and that you only better make my life happier always. Non-negotiable, everybody. You playing sports? Yeah, I mean, I did. Nope, no more athletes in my life. I have a 33-point non-negotiable list. Psycho.
Yeah, and all the women out there too say like, "Oh, men are they're so picky with all this stuff." And are you kidding me? Like, we have this woman who has a freaking checklist of all these
Yeah, I
things.
mean, everything's going good till I got to number 27. Now he's off the list right here. Like, what are we talking about here? This is what women are talking. I mean, we've got shows like Love Island, and this is what I think the problem we have in our culture right now is that I see these shows on Instagram where the person goes and like pops a balloon, if they don't like the person just by the looks or by the way they sound or their job. And I wasn't interested because he said he was a plumber, or I wasn't interested because I saw that he's 5'10", or I'm not interested because I don't know, he lives in the rural country instead of in, downtown. Like there's this culture, in my opinion, that is being built for men and women right now. And it's like, I need all of these things that are going to meet a criteria for me. And if they don't, get rid of them. And that's what I see when I see shows like Love, get rid of them. It's not like you have to deal with the problems. It's you don't like something, get rid of it, vote it off. It's done. It goes away. That's not how the real world works. You see these Instagram little TV or Instagram skits where the guy will get up there and there's girls holding a balloon. And if they don't like them, they like pop it.
Yeah.
You've seen these.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, what that shows is, all right, I don't like him. Boom, he's gone. I don't like something. Boom, I don't have to deal with it anymore. That's not how relationships work. Take it from me. I've screwed up relationships in my life. Lord knows. And what I would say to this is when I look at this woman coming out with a 33-point checklist, whoever you are out there, I don't care where you are, like relationship, non-relationship, you start putting non-negotiable checklist on people, it's a surefire way to disappoint yourself because nobody is going to meet those criteria right there. Not a single person. And I'm not just making that up, Anthony. I actually have the proof. You ready for this? This is going to shock you. So for everybody out there's like, there might be somebody who meets the checklist. Let's take a look at the numbers, everyone. All right. Now, I want to do this. Let's look at the numbers compared to the 33-point checklist. Work with me here. 65 million Americans fall between the age of 25 and 54. All right. So I'm sorry, let me phrase this. We're going to look at men. So there are 65 million American men aged 25 to 54. Boom. That's all you got to work with now. All right. Because most women who watch this show, most guys are between the age of 25 and 54. All right. So we know we're down to 65 million here in America. Single. Only about 40% of men in this age group are unpartnered or not living with somebody else. So we're looking at about 40%, 38% if we wanted to get a little bit more technical. Now, let's talk about this. All you ladies out there who got some list, do people want 6 foot and above? Because, oh, I want a 6 foot guy and above. Okay, well, that's only 15% of Americans out there. People, it's not a lot of guys over 6 foot. Make 6 figures. Not even 25% of guys in that age group, 25 to make 6 figures. And let's just say you want 6 inches out there. All right. That's 10% of the population that's out there, everybody. Now, to get that number, to have just those 4 things, not a 33-point checklist, just those 4 things, Anthony, you've got to multiply those together. That comes up to, get this, 1 in 667 men in the United States. There are, who meet only those 4 criteria, 97,000 guys in the entire country. Now you got to find the guy to be attractive. You got to get along with him on top of that. And if you're this woman, you better make sure your political affiliation is right and they didn't play any sports and they're not an athlete. Good luck on your 33-point checklist. You're at 1 in 667 just on 4 things alone that you see that people are talking about. Now, am I saying those 4 things are the most important? Heck no. All right, I'm not. But what I am saying is that when you look at just 4 check marks that women think, oh, I just want those things, good luck finding that. That guy is a lot more rare than what you might think. And so why don't, instead of looking at a 33-point checklist because you're hot, why don't you go and say, hey, I'm going to be the best version of myself, going to work hard to add more value into this world than what I take away from it. And then I'm going to try to find a guy who's doing the same. And I'd like to think that if my political affiliation doesn't match up with him, that we're more going to make up for it by these shared values that we have. Call me crazy, but I think that might be a better plan to not being single.
Yeah. She's not going to find anyone.
No one. No one.
Maybe your ChatGPT, if it can be a person.
Well, what it is when you get a lot of attention and when you're this good looking, because she's a very attractive woman, when you've gotten this much attention and you've had so many people for so long tell you how awesome you are, you forget what it takes to actually be in a relationship, because there's a vast difference between relationship and attention, and you can't confuse the two. And when you have someone like this, what they begin to think about is, oh, look, attention equals opportunities at relationships. I have all of this attention, and therefore I can be more picky about who I give that attention back to. And they think the options are unlimited for them. They don't understand just how small the group is that she's looking for. 1 in 33 is not like a small group. It's impossible. There isn't that person that's out there. And when women see this and they see somebody that's as beautiful as what she is making a list like this, they think, oh, I can do that. Well, I'll make a list of 10 things that are non-negotiable for me. Do not do that. You are setting yourself up to miss opportunities with great people in your life by doing things like that. For anything that you do. Let me tell y'all something, all right? Let me tell you something you already know, like that. What is that? That Rocky Balboa? Life is hard. It's not how many times you get hit. It's how many times you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's what winning is, kid. You know that whole saying? Yeah. Okay, let me tell you something you already know, folks. Life ain't black and white, all right? Nothing in life is. You're in a successful relationship and you love your girl very much, all right? And I always appreciate that about you, Anthony. If she listens to this, the man loves you very much. He's just a great guy, talks great. Awesome partner that you are. Does that mean you all always get along? No, you don't. I have a great relationship with you. Me and you don't always get along. We got frustrated the other day with me, but that's okay. I got you some energy drinks and we're good, because life is nuanced, everyone. Relationships are nuanced. Every relationship that you have in your life, You'll have good and bad moments. And it won't be because you make a list of non-negotiables. It'll be what you tolerate in life is what you get out of it. Don't look at it that you have to have this thing that's, oh, I have to have this fantasy of this person. In fact, a better place to start at is to go, what will I tolerate from my partner? Because if you can find that, then I'm telling you, what you do is you set the floor. Because without a good floor, you can never reach the ceiling. You're never going to be able to jump off of anything. But when you set a standard for what you will tolerate in life, you decide how high you can jump from there. But so many people are worried about, well, I got to hit this, this, and this. They don't look at the fact of, you know what? What about the way that I'm treated at this job or in this relationship? What about, these kind of things that I'm willing to tolerate right now? Well, I'm not willing to tolerate that. Matthew McConaughey said it really well. If you want to find out who you are, first define what you're not, because it is much easier to define what you're not than to define who you are. Give you an example. If you could go around, well, I'm a person that tells, most people won't say I tell the truth. Well, I never lie. Okay, you don't lie. You're saying what you aren't, and by saying what you're not, you innocently will tell people what you are. All right. I'm never somebody who will screw someone else over for money. Okay, that means you carry yourself with integrity, is what you're trying to say. And so when I look at these kinds of things, I would tell everyone out there, approach this differently. And if you're going to approach a relationship, instead of with a 33-point checklist, perhaps approach it with, hey, what are the things that I won't tolerate in a relationship? And build your list off of that. Because if a guy isn't making six figures, but he makes you feel every day like you're on top of the world, cares deeply about you, would do anything and sacrifice for you, man, you keep that guy around, because that's a man right there. Maybe he's not making the money right now, but if you're a good woman and you look at that guy and you say, I believe in you through and through, and everything that you are, I'm going to stand by you and I'm going to see this thing through. That's what a woman does. That's what a man does for a woman. That's what partners do for each other. You don't sit there and go to somebody, you know what? You don't make enough money, so you don't make a checklist of mine. Screw that.
Yeah.
That ain't the way to do it, folks. And listen, you're in for a long life of disappointment if that's the route that you decide to go. So don't make a checklist, even if you're really hot and blonde. Okay?
Have you ever had a checklist in the past, or was it like?
No, I've never had a checklist, man. I can honestly say I've never had like something that somebody had to meet. I've, like, I'm not going to talk about my relationships in the past here, but I will say this: the people that have meant the most to me in my life, there's a feeling that I associate with them. And I think all of us, when you think about the person that has affected your life, there's a feeling that's inside, right, that they would give you. And for some people, it might be regret, like you didn't get enough time with them, like your dad or your mom or whatever else. But I never had a checklist. I always go by how people make me feel. Yeah. There are some people, man, every time I run into them, man, I feel great about myself, right? I feel better about the day. And then there are other people I run into, I'm like, oh God, I got to talk to this person. And that's just in life. In relationships, I've never had a checklist that had to be met. Like, oh, she has to be this color hair, or I don't know, like make this much money. I don't think it really applies when it comes to men and women. Maybe we could talk about that factor, but yeah, that's very unique. Have you ever had one?
I don't think I have. Trying to think. Not really. I was just kind of whatever made me happy. I was like, you know what? This person makes me happy.
Yeah. Crazy thought. I mean, I think in relationships too. I mean, if I was to give my 2 cents out here for who cares, then relationships are about more than being happy. Oh, and when I see a list like this, I think about that person, especially when they say, you've got to make me happy all the time. You're not going to find that. And I think that anybody who's reasonably intelligent can know there's some hyperbole probably there. But what you should search for is somebody who attempts to do that to the best of their ability. You want someone who, you know what, they are going to have bad days. But at the end of the day, you want them you want to know that they're trying really hard for you. And on days where they're tired and they can't give it all, you want to know they have your best interest at heart. That means something.
I definitely think too that a relationship, yes, like happiness is definitely like a big factor, but I think a bigger factor is the sadness and how you deal with it, because that's like every relationship you're gonna have a fight, but depending on some of your relationships, depending on when you have that fight, a good relationship, you'll work through it, you'll figure out a compromise or figure out something they can both grow from it. um, that person might not make you as happy as the other person, but just how you deal with the bad things, you actually end up being happier. Whereas the one person, you might be happy like 70% of the time, but when it's bad, it gets really bad where it honestly just blocks out the whole happiness part for that
Mhm.
70%. So it really depends on how you deal with problems or how you compromise is a big factor in relationships that not really many people think about.
They don't, because everybody wants to think about the good times, right?
Mhm.
Um, my theory about this, though, is that men, this is something that men struggle with. I'm gonna tell you this and work my way through it. A lot of guys out there, I know you feel this way, where you don't feel like you can express to your partner when you have a bad day. Because what happens is when you express that, a woman will internalize that and make that her problem. And it brings it on to the family at that point. And so, as a man, oftentimes you have to internalize the pain that you feel so that your family does not feel that pain. And that is a burden that a lot of men have to carry. And while a woman, I understand, would want to make the problem better and wants to comfort, and on the surface, that sounds like so wonderful. And as a man, I know it sounds like, boy, I just want to pour my heart out to her. And I want to what? Communicate, because that's what she tells me to do. Don't do it. Don't communicate. And people go, don't communicate, Pat. Yeah, don't. Because I'm going to tell you why, Anthony. Because after you communicate, then there's that, okay, now I did it. Now, 20 minutes later, you want to be daddy at home. You can't be both, men. If you want to be the man and you want to be daddy at home, then you got to handle your problems on your own. You can't put those problems onto your partner, because you can't be daddy in one moment and then be the guy that and moaning the next moment. Now, does that mean you don't communicate about your problems? No, you've got to communicate as a couple and as a partnership, right? But when you are complaining to get soothed and it's going to be okay and you're going to be fine, you know that you've gone down a path of no return. Because now what you have done as a man is you have put that problem onto her. She has now had to embody that problem, sadness, upsetness, whatever it is that you're feeling. And good luck 20 minutes later, unless you're some kind of narcissist, being daddy and believing that you're the man in this relationship. You've taken away your authority to handle the problem.
I will actually disagree on this.
Fair.
I think you should open up for these relationships because yes, you might have a bad day, and if you keep holding it in, it's going to bottle up, and you might not. You might try to hold it in, and the person might not know what you're going through. But if you keep bottling it up, it's going to explode at one point, and then you're just gonna. It's all going to pour out at some point. It's gonna fill up, and you're just gonna keep filling up that bottle. But at some point, it's gonna overflow.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to drain it eventually. Like maybe you don't have to keep going every single problem. This. But definitely just at least open up and be like, hey, this is something I've been dealing with. This thing. Don't make it too much of a burden, but just definitely like slowly just ease it off because if you bottle it up, it's only gonna explode and make it worse.
So I'll find a middle ground here with you then. Let's agree on this. Guy comes home from work, right?
Yeah.
Girl asks, hey, how was your day? You get permission every now and then to go, I had a shit day today.
Yeah.
All right. You had a day. Got it. That's where you need to stop. What I mean is every day doesn't need to go into a whole deposition about my boss sucks, hours suck, not making enough money. Now I got to come home. I'm tired. Got to do it all over again tomorrow. When you do that, what you've done is that woman in your life who cares so deeply is now embodying that problem that you had, and you've imparted that on her. And because she cares about you deeply, she wants to solve the problem.
Mhm.
She wants to make it better for you. And so you don't actually need her to solve the problem. You know what you got to do. Most men know what they need to do in a situation, but they want to hear from their partner that I care about you and it's going to be okay. And that I'm going to love you no matter what. And I think that that's where people mess up when it comes to relationships, men and women. If I was to go down this rabbit hole even more, and I will because my name on the show, okay, is that men out there are simple. Men want one thing. They want to hear a couple words. I'm proud of you. You tell a man, I'm proud of you, and that man will run through a wall for weeks. Ladies, ladies, go home today and tell your man, I'm proud of you. And you watch the reaction that it gets. It's different, Anthony, than I love you or nice job or anything like that. Okay? Baby, daddy, any of those words. You tell a man, I'm proud of what you're doing for this family. And you watch his face light up. You watch this burden get lifted off of him. If a man loves you and you have a family with him, you tell him, I'm proud of you. And you watch what happens, brother. I'll tell you, it's a feeling that a man, you watch that guy light up. Would you agree with that?
No, 100%.
All right. We'll find the middle ground on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
All right. Go home and tell your man, I'm proud of you. All right. You'll thank me for it later. All right. I want to get a story number 2 right here. I love that first one we had right now. Listen, I've talked about this before, Anthony. Me and you might disagree a little bit on this one, but for the most part, I think I'm pretty much in line with every single American in America. Every single American. Here's the thing. We all believe soccer is vastly overrated. If you were born in America, I'm here to tell you right now, the average American cares a heck of a lot more about the NBA Finals right now than the World Cup. In fact, Anthony, I'm going to go on a limb right here, okay? I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to unite the country. Forget Democrat, Republican, forget white and black, all right? In fact, white and black people, we can come together on this thing, okay? If we were ever divided, okay, we're coming together on one thing, that we care more about the NBA Finals than what we do about the World Cup. In America, we care more about the Spurs and the Knicks right now than we do whoever's playing today somewhere in America right now, where nobody who lives here, born here, can really even say where it is. But all I know is it's $900 to go for the cheapest ticket. You give me $900, man, I want to go to the Knicks game. That's what every American wants to do right now. And I say that not because they're not people that were not born. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Get over it, everybody. I'm talking about the average person who lives here in America, doesn't give a crap about World Cup soccer. Now, if you've got family that's overseas or you were born somewhere else and you came here, and I get it, blah, we can go through all the stuff. The facts are simple, everybody. People care more about NBA basketball right now than they do what's going on in soccer. I'm not making that up. Look at the numbers, everyone. The number one soccer game of all time came in 2022 in Qatar. You know how much? 25 million Americans watched that. You know how many millions of Americans watched game 3? 23.8 million. So the most watched game of all time for soccer, 25 million Americans watched one game. Game 3 of the finals, 23.8. So a million difference is all that we're talking about. And that was a game, that was just the finals. We're talking about the most watched of all time for soccer. Everyone, it's completely overrated. It's like F1, in my opinion. You've got a few people who talk about it, who've got some money, and all of a sudden everyone begins to think that soccer matters in America. I had some guy on one of my comments go, he goes, well, you don't live in America. You live in the United States, and the Americas is like South America and North America. You got me, bro. Let me be very clear. The United States does not care about soccer. We don't. And everyone who thinks that somehow by bringing the MLS and bringing some has-been stars, throwing them into the MLS, throwing some money behind the league, and then bringing the World Cup to America, or to the United States, is somehow going to make it different. You're sadly mistaken. We've tried this book before. It's not going to work. Americans do not care about soccer. We want to see what arguably could be one of the, yeah, you can make an argument, the best NBA finals I've ever seen. That's what Americans are looking forward to watching. And the numbers show it. So we can stop with this World Cup thing. Why is it trending everywhere? Lord.
Personally, if I had either a ticket to the World Cup or the Super Bowl, I'm taking a Super Bowl every day.
You and everyone else who lives in the United States, because it's a better sport for this country. It means more. The NBA finals are pulling better numbers than what the games for the World Cup are going to pull. So this is not even an argument within this country. The only argument you get are from people who were born here, but their families are from somewhere else. That's it. Because their families love soccer, so they defend soccer. And they get so defensive about it because, oh, you don't get it, man. You're not cultured. Soccer's a sport. No, it's not in America. It's not. Football, American football, basketball, baseball, even in our northern states, hockey would even say that it matters more than soccer. No one cares about soccer here. That's just the country that we live in. That doesn't mean that you can't love it. It doesn't mean you're wrong for loving it. It means that all the hype and fadaji about it, it's BS. No one's going to watch it in the United States unless your family is from somewhere else. And when you were born here, that's the only time that you ever care about it because your family who was from somewhere else, that's what they grew up on.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that people who were born here, who are either white or black, do not care about soccer. All right. And that's the majority of the country. That's a numbers game that I'm looking at here. And so when I think about this, let's unite under one flag, everybody, of people who don't give a crap about soccer. That's what we need to do. And in my opinion, that's where things get fun, because then we can actually talk about things that matter, not the MLS, which is all that there is that anybody talks about. Yeah, I'm sitting next to a guy at a bar sometime. He's like, "Have you seen the Spain and whatever?" No, I don't even know what teams play. Like, is it the whatever league, the such and such league? This guy plays in this league. I don't know because I live in America.
And then like the points are just you're up by like 2 points or 3 points, and that's it. And it's not even really close of a game, and it's not even just boring to
It's
me.
terrible. Look, I get it. People are like so emotionally involved with their country, right? And I'm gonna tell you, heck with it, man. I'm on a roll today. I'm on a rant. We got about 25 more minutes. Screw it. All right. You know, the other thing that really bothers me about the World Cup is the flags. All right. Like when I see Americans and they're draped in other countries' flags, it bothers me. Because like, what about our flag? Like the United States of America. And when I see these games, I see all of these Americans that come out, and they're all so proud to fly their Norwegian flag or fly their British flag or fly their French flag. What about our flag? Like, why aren't you as proud to fly that as what you are a country that you go to once a year because your family was from there? What about this country? And so it bothers the heck out of me. When I turn on, if I like flipping through and I like hit one of these games, and most of the people that are in the stands are Americans. It's in America where we're playing this, where these games are going to be played.
Oh, they are? I don't
Yeah,
even know.
I don't know all of them are, but
Yeah.
there are games being played in America today. And so when I look at that, I go, what about the United States? Do you have the same pride for the flag that allows you the freedoms and the things that we get to do every day here to be able to do what we're doing right now? Do you drape that around your shoulders so proudly? Or is it because, I don't know, it's cool, or your family's from France, or your family's from Spain 3 generations ago, that now you drape this flag over and you're so proud to go walking with that? But anytime, America's playing in something, it's like, whatever. Like, it bothers me to my core because I want to see that for the American flag. Like, that is what I love to see. And yet, more people, it seems like, who go to the World Cup games are more proud to drape a flag that's not an American flag around their shoulders than what they are this country's. And so I guess, you know what? I don't like it very much because I watch it and I go, where's the pride for this country that our American counterparts here are showing for their other countries?
I think it's because maybe, I don't know. I don't really know too much about soccer, but whenever I think of like soccer, like the best teams, I think of like I don't know, Spain or one of those countries.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like maybe it's just because we just kind of have a sucky soccer team here. I don't know.
We do. I think listen, I don't know the answer. We're in the World Cup, though. I know we're playing. Yeah. I think we get I know we automatically get in, I believe, because we're the host country. So I don't know. I think we play. I don't know, and I don't care, right?
Yeah.
But the reason we're not any good is because young athletes in this country don't want to play soccer. Let's be very clear. We're the most athletic country that there is, the most advanced athletically that there is in the world. If America wanted to be good at soccer, we would be. It would take one generation, maybe not even that, a couple of years of actual athletes getting involved with soccer for us to become great. There are great athletes, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about on an aggregate, though, right? The reason that baseball hasn't seen a decline is because more athletes are not playing it at a high school level. More athletes are being drawn to other sports outside of baseball. And nobody who's an athlete inside of high schools right now is going, man, unless they come from a family, they gravitate more towards basketball, baseball, and football, obviously. They don't gravitate towards playing soccer. And so you see that we have a gap in this country because there's not been a lot of emphasis on the sport.
One sport that I want to see more of in America that's around the world, besides everyone's talking about soccer, but I want more rugby.
I love rugby. I'm a fan.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I saw it one time in like pub in London, and I was like, damn, they're going at it. It's cool.
Love that you just dropped that. You're like, oh, I was watching a pub in London.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, just having a pint and, watching some rugby with my boys, just hanging out in London.
My lads.
Douchebag. You're such a douche. It's cocky. You'd fit right in with these soccer folks. Oh, I was at the pub in London drinking a pint, watching rugby, That's a great sport. We should have more
of it. There's my mate over there.
It's awesome. Well, everybody go watch the World Cup if you want something like that. I don't know. I love this story. The next one's coming from you, Anthony. It's been 15 years since the movie The Social Network dropped, and finally, we are getting another one, everybody. We're coming back to the life of Mark Zuckerberg, and it's time for The Social Reckoning. All right, Sony just dropped the official trailer on the 10th. It looks like one heck of a film. And it looks like we've got following a young Facebook engineer teams up with a Wall Street Journal reporter to blow the whistle on the company's secrets. It's based on the real Facebook files expose. You've got Bill Burr in this thing. And it looks like it's going to be an absolute great film. As I watched the trailer, Anthony, it seems like what they're trying to do is paint this picture of the story of Facebook and it being addicting to young people, and that Facebook knew the algorithm that they were creating would be addicting. And this story is trying to put a narrative to what we're seeing in the court system right now. There are hundreds of lawsuits right now against Meta stating that the algorithm and the platform is an addicting platform from young people. Meta knew it was an addicting platform and still went forward with it. And this film looks to be making a narrative about that, a story, a face to it, if you will, about the addiction that young people are facing with social media, and that many, many years ago, people like Zuckerberg knew that they would do that and continued to make a platform that would cause social harm to young people. Well, what do you mean by the platform? Well, like for instance, never-ending scroll. That is one right there. Because what happens, if we've all been there, you'll go like this, and all of a sudden you'll look up and it's been 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Every one of us have had that happen. That's a never-ending scroll. That is a platform feature that Meta introduced. And what they claim in the lawsuits, and I think what this movie is going to try to show, is that Zuckerberg and the engineering team looked at this and said, this will become addicting, a dopamine hit for people, like a drug, like a cigarette. They will not be able to give this up. We need to create it. We will hook young people into this, and this activity will make sure that they never leave us. Okay. I think there's something to be said for that. Then go ahead.
I was going to say, I think this is definitely going to be interesting 10 years for like Meta, at least from the 2020s I've seen with like the layoffs that they've had and now this film coming out. It's going to be a pretty bad time for Meta in these next couple of years.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think they're going to have to fight a cultural battle, but at the end of the day, I think what they're going to look at is the numbers, meaning, and what is it? Numbers don't lie. And people might not like Mark Zuckerberg. You might not like what Meta or what Instagram is doing, but does that mean you're going to stop logging in?
Oh no.
No. So you may not agree with them socially, but it doesn't mean you're going to stop watching. Another good example of this is Elon Musk. There are a number of people who disagree with his political affiliations, decisions. Does it mean you're going to stop buying Teslas? No, because you like it, that it's a great car. So when you have a product that people, when you have a product that people want, then the leader at the top matters less because the product speaks for itself. And you have an addicting product, no doubt, within Meta, TikTok, even to some extent, LinkedIn has become much more addictive than it used to be. I was on LinkedIn. I could tell they've made some real changes into the LinkedIn platform, done a much better job. YouTube, another great example of this. And so I look at these and I think they're designed that way. And even if you disagree with how they're designed, you're still coming back to them because you like the content and what it does for you. You like feeling connected in the moment. You like a reprieve from the daily life that you have. And so you want to feel like you're living in an alternate reality, even if it's just for a moment that you're there. And so is there truth to the movie? Are there truth to the lawsuits? Yeah, there are. We all know this stuff is addicting, right? Go around a gym right now. Go walk around your gym and you'll see everybody on a bench like this. No one's actually looking up, talking to one another. No one's making eye contact, right? I found myself, because I post a lot of our content from the day. I'll post it during the gym stuff, and I'll get done with a lift, and then I'll sit down. I'm looking at my phone. I saw the other day, I'm like, put your phone down, Pat. Look around. And this movie is going to talk about that in a way that's going to put it to a story, because we see these numbers and stats out there, and we know what's going on in our own head. But I think it's going to take something like this that people go, shoot, I was a fool. I was a pawn in a game, and they knew what I would do, and I'm still doing it. You're like that rat that's in the cage, and they're telling you what to do. You're reacting. You're doing exactly what they want. So while I think that they're going to go through culturally some hits, I don't think their numbers take a hit at all. I think more and more people will continue to log on. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok will continue to dominate, even if they, even if the people come out and say, yeah, it's addicting.
Yeah.
Meta's real interesting. Meta, I feel like Meta is kind of this annoying thing within tech that the other tech giants don't really like. Like every time it seems like Meta is kind of the one that pushes the envelope that others are kind of like just want to get rid of. I think that Google, Microsoft, and Amazon would like nothing more than to get rid of Meta. When we saw that a few years ago, we were talking about with a client today where I think it was either Apple or Google, one of the two, basically made it impossible for Meta to be able to track people offline. And that's where Meta started doing pixels that they make people install onto websites so they can track you when you go over from Meta over to a website to fill out a form. That came from the fact that I think it was Apple who had blocked them and said, no, Meta, you're not going to do this anymore on our platform. And Meta said, great. Then what we'll do is we'll tell businesses that unless you have a Meta pixel on your website, we just simply won't send anybody there. And so they found a way around it. And I feel like these other apps or these other platforms are like, Meta, darn it, they won't go away. They get their own servers. Unlike they're going after their own servers. When you talk about the data centers, Meta's going after their own servers so they can stand alone and do what they want to do. They're not relying on anybody. And so as much as people want to hate on Zuckerberg, that guy is kind of like this lone wolf out there that everybody seems to be against and nobody seems to like. But somehow he finds a way to keep on innovating in a real way. He's going to have some losses like the metaverse, but don't count that guy out. Not by a long shot.
Yeah, I found it interesting too. At least in the last 10 years, like every couple years, there's always like open up your phone and then it's asking like a new thing where it's like, do you want to allow this app to track your location or track this? And I know like Meta's been doing a lot of that stuff so now Apple's trying to get ahead of it, where it's like, yeah, we're not going to allow you to track this location, track this, and all the cookies and things like that go along with it. So,
But so many of these things, like when you social media, for instance, I always look at it kind of like a baggage policy at Southwest.
Yeah.
You got to check yes on the baggage policy if you want to fly the plane. So when you log into an Instagram and Facebook, yes, you're probably, when they make an update, you're going to click yes, I accept. Because if not, you're not getting to the picture of your friend that you want to post. So you're moving forward with it. And you may not like it. You may not like the fact that they're changing it, but it doesn't change you coming back to that app. In fact, I'll be very frank. I miss the days when Meta used to follow me around online. All right. Because I kind of liked when I got ads that were relevant to me. Now Meta's trying to think about, and as a marketer, I can tell you this, it's much harder to line up a product with a person than what it was 5 years ago. And it's because of the restrictions that Apple and Google and others have put onto Meta and how it can track you around. Let me ask you, was it that bad, everybody, that when you wanted a bed, you got to hit with like mattress ads on Facebook? You wanted that product. It was nice to have some options put in front of me that I actually liked. Instead, now I'm hit with ads that are really weird and they think I like that. They're not sure if I do because they can't track my behavior as well as what they used to be able to. But I ask people, it's like, well, I didn't want them tracking me online. Why? Because, I don't know, you don't want to be sold books by Ed Milet. What is it that like you're worried about them tracking? I get it. Use a VPN if that's what you're looking for. But I would turn my VPN off and track me away because I want to see ads for the things that I'm actually searching for.
I think the one thing that my pet peeve, maybe not ads, but just more like the organic posts that I've seen where it's like, I'll go through and I'll see, I don't know, like a post about this downtown thing going on, a new construction thing. And I'll click on it. I'm like, oh, cool. Literally for the next 5 minutes, I'm scrolling. I've seen the exact same freaking thing just because I clicked on that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not ads. It's just organic things that people post. And I'm like, oh my God, enough of this.
Yeah. What individuals need to understand is that every single post that you make out there is a web that is behind it, right? And that web is trying to interlock that post with other people that might be interested in it. And the reason for that is not because Meta or LinkedIn or YouTube care about you at all. What they want is for you to stay on the app for the longest period of time so they can hit you with more ads and charge companies for that time, for that opportunity to earn your business. That's the difference, is that when you pay for ads as a business on social media, you're not paying for a result. You're paying for an opportunity of a result to put your content or to put your message in front of potential customers, oftentimes that are deemed potential customers by the app that could buy your product. And so when you pay for that stuff, they need people to be on the app to show it to them. So what it's doing behind the scenes is it's looking for things that it thinks you're going to like, so it can put them in front of you the next second you scroll through, and then keep you on that app to show you more things, show you more ads and make more money. It's an interweb that's behind it that's looking for different, well, that person watched it and that person watched it, and we think that they have stuff that they like that are similar. We'll show them this video coming up next in this ad, and it starts to just be a waterfall of what they call trillions of data points that are happening at any given time between people and videos, and it's happening in real time right in your hand right now.
You know, it's something interesting that I just thought of. An interesting thing that I think Zuckerberg could even get into, which if he like a Facebook dating app, where it's just because he has all the information of like what people like, what all these things, it's there.
Oh, it's there.
Where it's like when you have like bump, like all those other apps, it's a separate thing. So
you're absolutely correct. And what I would say to people about Facebook is the reason it's called Facebook, all right, is the idea was in the beginning to match you with people that were like your friends, right? You had groups of people. That's why you still have Facebook groups, everyone. The idea was not to match you or to show you things that you were interested in. It would be if me and you were close and you liked a tennis page, then it would show me that tennis page because me and you can communicate on Facebook and we think that we're going to like the same thing because we're in the same group. right? And that was the idea behind it. That's the reason that TikTok wiped the floor with Facebook when it first came out, because it was interest based instead of being group based. And so Facebook lagged behind in its algorithm with Instagram. They caught up. But that's why the For You page and all that stuff had to evolve with Instagram to attack the interest based media that TikTok was so great at. And while that sounds now like it's just okay, well, that's how you would do it. Of course, to be on what you're interested in. Until TikTok came around, it was truly more of a based interest on the people that you were around. So if you showed interest and he showed interest in something, they would show me that thing thinking that I would be interested in it. It was based on behaviors, not on the actual interest themselves.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Big change when TikTok came out. It really pushed the envelope. It also pushed the envelope of addiction, which is what we're talking about here. Want to go to our fourth story. We've got about 10 more minutes left, everybody. I want to talk about something we always hear about this time of year. It's called El Nino. It's the Climate Prediction Center. 82% emerges this summer. 96% chance it lasts through winter. What is El Nino? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, everybody, because nobody can. All right. And that's because it doesn't matter. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter. Because we can't predict the weather tomorrow. We can't. I see this trending, and we picked up this story for one reason. We see it trending for the past 3 days, El Nino, like it means something, like it means anything, that there's some kind of 8 to 14 named storms are going to come out of this season, or 3 to 6 hurricanes are going to come out. I've said before many times, if I could go back to college and I'm like, okay, what job do I want? Meteorologist. I mean, there's never a penalty when you're wrong, and you can put a percentage on anything. 40% chance of rain tomorrow. Well, if it rains, I told you there was a 40% chance. Every day is different, so you start from zero. Your predictions don't matter, and no one holds you to them. And if you get them wrong, it's not like you lose your job. It's not like anybody says, man, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. But all you do is get out there and go, yep, you got a 30% chance of rain today, partly cloudy, partly sunny, normal stuff. It's going to be normal weather. It is by far the easiest job that you can imagine. No one ever gets upset when you're wrong. You just blame the weather as unpredictable. Despite all our advances in technology, we can't figure out where a hurricane is going to go until it hits land.
Yeah, and stupid spaghetti models.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
But listen, like, we're having El Nino this year. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, every year they tell me we're going to have more named storms. It's going to be the worst hurricane season of all time. Yes, ice caps are melting. The world is coming to an end. Maybe the dinosaurs will come back, and we have El Nino. Whatever, because you can't tell me tomorrow if it's going to rain at my house or not. But somehow you're going to tell me how many storms and what the Atlantic current is going to be like in 6 months. You have no clue. Every year someone comes out with a different prediction, and they just print whatever's going to get people to go ahead and pay attention to an article. El Nino, nothing. And they know El Nino. That's what it is. El Nino, El Zero. I don't know. People are out there. Give me a break. By the way, I went and searched for this thing. I was like, okay, just out of curiosity, can someone tell me which meteorologists across Florida are actually the most accurate, or the United States? I couldn't find one list. I was like, is there any chance to know, like, who is the most accurate? Is there somebody who, like, looks for this stuff and goes, your predictions are the most accurate that there are? I couldn't find a list. It's like these guys all get together at some meteorologist event, and they're like, hey, let's make sure we don't screw this up for each other. We all know we got it pretty good right now, right? And they're like, yeah, okay. I know you could make an app that easily with AI could track this, but let's not do that, everyone, because we're all sitting pretty right now.
I just found it so stupid. I've been seeing this El Nino thing for months now, and I'm like, what even is it? It is.
I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a Coors Light 18-inch taller boy. That's right, everybody. You want to talk about the news that matters? Coors Light has revealed the taller boy. That's right, taller boy. An 18-inch double-walled stainless steel canister. It holds and chills 3 12-ounce cans, but it has 36 ounces of ice-cold beer, everybody. It's only $30, and it's only going to be sold online. It's got 2 drops, and one of them came out today. I couldn't get it. One other one is June the 18th. While supplies last, get this, man, only 125. It's all you got, guys. And you know why? They're doing this because of soccer. Well, they're doing it because you got to sit there through soccer for there ever to be a goal. So what they're doing is they're saying, listen, man, if you got to sit there through this thing, we want you to have some ice cold Coors Light, everybody. Ice cold beer. Ice cold beer here. Ice cold beer. You don't have to get up anymore because you got 18. No, you got 18 inches and you got 36 ounces of ice cold beer right there, everybody. I love it. Let's see here. Coors VP Matt Carpenter said extra long celebrations or extra long waiting for celebrations deserves something that allows you to hold on to those game moments a little bit longer. Listen, I just love the fact that they're doing this. 18 inches of ice cold beer. That's what I love right now. No, none of this stuff like this. We want a can that's like this. This is American right here. Now, this is what I love. Soccer, most people in the United States don't care. They need to introduce this into football games, every other sport. Nobody wants to sit there and have to go, ice cold beer. And he's like, Mark. And then you have to be the alcoholic. Everyone has to be that guy. And you're like, give me two. And you're like, because you don't want to be the guys like, because he's like the two big ones. And you're like, two of them. Yeah. And then they're passing them down. And it's like putting you one down right here. And you're like, this is just for me. So there's no one I'm giving it to. Oh, man. So I love this. I mean, start selling these at games right now. I can get two of these right here. Drink my 72 ounces of beer before I ever got to get up.
So they're selling it for 33 right now, right?
What now?
How much are they selling it for?
So $33 or $30.
I'm wondering if they sell it at the game, they're probably selling it for like $100.
Not yet, $90, something like that. But I mean, it's it's only 125 of them. I think it's just a great gimmick. I mean, I saw some of the pictures of this thing. It looks ridiculous. All right. It's basically just took the Coors can and they just elongated it to like right here. It looks stupid, but I love the marketing of it.
Dude,
Coors.
I love it because they know their audience.
Yes, they do.
Doubling down.
Yes. Listen, no one said, hey, listen, I really wish I had less beer in this can. No, people want more beer. Okay. And I don't want to be the guy who's like, got to get back up off the couch, or I got to get up with my friends. I'm like grabbing 3 beers and putting them here. And then you get that weird question from that person who's like, oh, are those all for you? Yeah, they're all for me. Thanks for pointing it out, douchebag. All right. Because I'm going to have my 3 beers right here. But if I had my Coors Light taller boy, then I wouldn't need to do that. I just sit down with my taller boy and we like this long and nobody would say anything, right? I mean, it might look a little weird, but they'd be like, well, that's to be expected. I mean, the man has a 36-ounce can. What do you expect him to do with it? Well, he's going to fill it up. So let's do it. I wonder if it comes with beer in it, like if it's just or it's just like the can itself. But I can't really tell here. I love it. It just seems like something that some liberal would get pissed off about. Oh man, we're encouraging people to get wasted and alcoholism and stuff.
Imagine putting that in your cup holder in your car. Like, officer.
It looked that way. It looks like you can fit, like it's just an extra long Coors Light can is all that it is.
Just have that in your cup holder. Officer, I'm promise.
Nothing to see here. Let me tell you what. Just got some guy just like sitting there. He's got like a can between his legs, like all the way up to here. It's like, what the heck is this guy doing? Oh man. I love it, everybody. We got to get going. I've got a meeting coming up here. Really had a lot of fun on today's show. Anthony's going to cut this stuff. If you're checking us out over on YouTube, we try to have some fun with this stuff every single day. Check us out in the middle of the day or the morning, whenever we can get to it. We really appreciate it. Give us a subscribe, and you can check it out every night, 5 nights a week. This is the Patrick Carr Show. We'll see you tomorrow on Friday. Great show. We'll have who do we have tomorrow? Well, no, we're not doing it live tomorrow. It'll be regular show tomorrow, and then we'll have some great podcasts coming out next week. We got some more great stuff coming your way. See you tomorrow.